The last talk before the coffee break will be a presentation of an app version of a contemporary dictionary of Swedish. It is joint work by Louise Holmer, Monica von Martens, and Emma Sköldberg, and it will be Emma and Monica doing the presentation. Please.
Oh, thank you. So, my name is Emma Sköldberg. I'm a lexicographer and a researcher. And this is Monica von Martens, and she's a system developer. And we come from the Department of Swedish at the University of Gothenburg. And our colleague, Louise Holmer, couldn't be here today. And as you can see, we're going to present an app, a new dictionary app, which is going to represent the contemporary dictionary of the Swedish Academy. About a year and a half ago, we were commissioned by the Swedish Academy to develop a dictionary app reflecting the comprehensive printed dictionary Swedish Svensk Ordbok SO from 2009. And from now on in this presentation, this app will be referred as the SO app. The SO app was planned to be released in late summer of 2015. And even if it still isn't on the market, a release version for iPhone exists. The development of an Android version has just started. But developing an app version of a dictionary that meets the needs of the users is not that simple. There are plenty of dictionary apps on the market, but written reports on the ideas and the decisions behind them concerning, for example, layout and content are very few in number. So in other words, when developing a dictionary app, it's difficult to build on the experience by other lexicographers. So the principal aim of this presentation is to increase the exchange of views on dictionary app development and usage. The basis of the dictionary app is the monolingual Swedish lexical database developed at the University of Gothenburg. In short, the database as a whole includes about 160,000 entries. This database formed the basis for the printed dictionary published in 2009, which includes about 65,000 headwords with thorough definitions. The dictionary also includes pronunciation information, morphological information, about 5,000 idioms and a large number of etymologies. There are also well-known literary citations and usage notes. But in the database, there are also about 67,000 new human-read audio files. To some headwords, which can be pronounced in different ways, there are various files, and on the other hand, in some cases, many headwords are related to the same files. And now I will describe the project organization. As stated, we are financed by the Swedish Academy. The app developers work at iSolve. It is the leading dictionary app development agency in Sweden, and they are located in Stockholm. And the editorial staff, including lexicographers and system developers, all work at the Department of Swedish in Gothenburg. And the SO app is the result of a close collaboration and a flexible working method, especially between the app developers at iSolve and the lexicographic team. In the project, we started with more well-known complications such as homonymic and polysemic words, and later on we have, of course, been forced to refine our work. We have, during the process, identified and fixed errors in the database and the extraction programs. Now, there is some words more about this. A large number of different app versions have been examined and tested by a test group consisting of mainly the lexicographers and some of our colleagues and the employees of the Swedish Academy. And in accordance with the decision of the Swedish Academy, the app will be designed for iOS and Android in the first place. This is based on the dominant position of these operating systems in the Swedish mobile market. But statistics of the usage of the other dictionary app of the Swedish Academy also show that those platforms are the most common. And finally, it's decided that the SO app will be a so-called hybrid between an online and an offline resource. The users can look up words and see definitions and examples offline, but to access audio pronunciation, they need a network connection.
And I will say a few words about the IT environment and techniques behind this. There is, of course, more in the full paper, which you can find on the eLex homepage. What the public sees, the broad public, they see the dictionaries, paper dictionaries, and they will see an app. And they don't know a whole lot about the work behind the scene. What we have is a relational database, which consists of a lot of tables and relations between those tables. And then we have an editorial interface for the editors to enter and change the information. And of course, a whole lot of well-educated and dedicated people working with the information. The lexical database in Gothenburg has been developed ever since the 1960s, when the pioneer data linguist Sture Allén started collecting newspaper material and studying the word frequencies in Swedish newspapers. So this was the basic of the database. Then there has been additions of new data, like especially semantics has been interesting, of course, etymology and other data. And from this database, there has been retrieved statistics for scientific reports, and since the 80s, there have been a number of printed dictionaries. And the last one so far is the SO, which was published 2009. And our task was to do an app that resembles this SO. The output from the database that was used for SO was made using C programs. And we have not been using those. The C programs produced tagged text, which was tagged with typological information as agreed with the publishing company. And that is quite outdated information, not useful today. So we had to do that part again. We worked with prototyping in HTML to be able to test the solutions we wanted to use in the app, like the inclusion of the audio file links, linking between words, dynamic word and line breaking, how to collapse and expand the entries so that you would have a good overview of the information. The entries can be quite different. Some entries, like that on the preceding page here, are quite short, like the word kampa. There's not a lot to say about that. It easily, everything you can say about that word, or everything we have in the dictionary regarding that word, can be said in one screen. Kampa, it means camping. While others are much bigger, either because there is homonymy, several lemmas with several senses, or other kinds of information like literary citations or usage notes that we also want to present to the reader. To be able to have a controlled information flow between us at the university and the app development agency, we used XML files. So we have an HTML environment for prototyping and testing at the university. Then we did the output in XML and verified the structure using XML schema definition, which was developed for this purpose. We had no such before. The structure of the database was like it was in the C files that or the structure of the information being pulled out for the dictionary was included in the C program and was not explicit. And then of course we had style sheets to display the content. So now I will leave to Emma to continue.
Okay. So in the following, we will present the dictionary app, focusing on the content design and some of the search functions. And on this slide, you can see the drawer menu of the ESO app. It reflects the iPhone graphical user interface. The iPad user interface is quite similar. And the user can choose between searching for a word, bookmarks, search history, a list of all the style guides for particular words, general information about the app, the Swedish Academy, etc. And compared to many other dictionary apps that we have studied, quite a lot of information is given about the dictionary content. And the user instructions are also very comprehensive. We intend to construct the ESO app regarded as a lexicographic resource as independent as possible in relation to the printed dictionary. As you can see, the ESO app also includes this word of the day function. The selection of words, as you can see them even if you're it's an offline part, you know. So you can see them even if you aren't connected to Wi-Fi. So the selection of word is made 1 year in advance, and the headwords are set for specific dates. And we hope that those selected words, which differ a lot, will increase the user interest in Swedish language. On this slide, you can see the screenshot of the Swedish word campa, or Monica just mentioned it, to camp in the app. And as you can see, the user interface is mainly blue, white, and black, and the headwords are presented in red. The aim of the design is to connect the app to the print version of the dictionary. We want the old users to recognize the printed book in a way. But at the same time, the connection with the related app, the normative Swedish academic glossary, must be evident. So they must be alike in a way, look alike in a way. And links to other entries in the dictionary, like the synonym campera and the lexical verbal noun camping, are blue. This slide illustrates the homographic word predicative. The adjective here can be pronounced in several ways, and this entry includes 5 different audio files. And even if the presentation space is very restricted on a mobile screen, we have decided to keep the phonetic transcriptions in the app. First of all, learners of Swedish may not be able to hear the difference between the different pronunciations. And moreover, audio pronunciation is only accessible when the user has internet connection. The example also shows that user can switch between portrait and landscape modes by turning the mobile and our tablet. We find it important for users to be able to individualize their usage of the app. The default text size in the ESO app is comparable to the text size in other dictionary apps. But in order to meet the needs of different users and user situations, it is possible by standard gestures to zoom in and zoom out. So in this example, the text is bigger, you can say. So in relation to these functions, the use of the soft hyphens is important because they allow for dynamic word wrapping. Here you can see the entries led. Led is both homonymic and polysemic. It can be a verb, the past tense of the verb to suffer, an adjective, fed up, disgusting, and a noun, root, trail, joint, etc. The whole content of the dictionary from 2009 is included in the app. And to make the dictionary content easier to grasp, longer entries are shown in a collapsed form. In the middle, you can see a collapsed version of the adjective led. And to the right, you can see an expanded version of the first meaning of that word. By touching the plus sign, the users can easily obtain subordinate meanings, idioms, information on valency, etymology, etc. We have chosen the solution to collapse entries that cannot easily be displayed on a regular-sized mobile phone screen. We have been experimenting with the optimal amount of data presented by default using this HTML prototype that Monica has shown. Finally, some words about the phrase search in the SO app. The algorithm is the same as for a simple search. The search string kalla fötter, cold feet, generates two idiom variants, get cold feet and give some cold feet. And here you can see the idioms and some examples. But the search string also generates results from other entries in the dictionary containing the word forms cold and foot. For example, you find a syntactical example in the entry doppa, to dip. The water was so cold she only dipped her feet. The word forms in the search strings are distinguished in the hits with bold, and information on the entry and the information category is also given. But in short, idioms and other fixed phrases that include two or more word forms in the search strings are presented in the top of the list. In this case, the idiom get cold feet, because we assume that it is the multi-lexical unit that the user wants to in the most cases. So hits among a definition and syntactical examples are below. The last.
Just a few words about the lessons we have learned during this work. There are always inconsistencies in databases. I think everyone knows that. And these inconsistencies can go undetected in the printed books. But as soon as you start creating links, especially if you really use the schema definitions and validation possibilities, you will find all these links to words that have been removed and other such things. And you must be prepared to put quite a lot of time and effort in fixing these things when you go electronic. Also, we put quite a lot of time in working with the audio files and trying to map the audio files to the pronunciation, which was not always possible. And we think the close cooperation we had with the app agency was very healthy and ensures a better result than we would have had without that. And here is how you contact us. Now, any questions are welcome.
All right, thank you very much. And does anyone have questions? Yeah.
Two questions. The first one, when will the app be out? Do you know?
That one is for you.
It's for me.
It's not for us to decide.
No,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's the Swedish Academy that decides, and it depends on, but it will appear now in a couple of months, I think.
And as new words are added sort of to the underlying data, will the app be updated quicker than the book, or will it be in tandem with as the book is updated?
Beyond that, I mean, one answer would be we don't know.
Okay.
I mean, our task was to do an app which exactly copies the 2009 printed edition. And the decision whether it is to be upgraded will also be with the Swedish Academy.
It was a big challenge to meet this new format.
Yeah.
So we found it, we start with the 2009 edition, and then we have to revise the dictionary and make a new app.
And again, I mean, if you are interested in looking at the app, we have it on our phones and on an iPad. So you are free to test it if you like.
Great, thank you.
I'm just wondering, did you manage to put the whole 160,000 database entries into your app and all the sound files? And if you did you have any concerns that it might be very big on a device, or did you have to consider that at all?
Yeah. Firstly, the audio files are not included in the offline app. You can only access the audio files if you are having an internet connection. That, of course, makes a lot for the volume. And also, as we said before, the database has 160,000 lemmata, but the dictionary only has around 65,000. So it was the 65,000 that were included in the app.
One last question before we go to coffee. Yeah.
Maybe following up on the last question, you have decided to include all of the information from the printed book into the app. Have you discussed that? It might be possible to make a light version in the app. That's what we did for our Danish dictionary, for instance. Yeah. What was your considerations about that?
We have studied your app a lot, you know, and we found a better way. No, the thing is that you have this web version, and you can always present the app and you present a part of the information, and you say, and the user get the link to the web version. So you can always, they can go further, you can say. But in our case, we can say, this is a light version, and if you want something more, go and buy the book for 500 crowns. You know, it's so. It's not that easy to like you do, because we don't have this extraordinary good-looking version that you have on the web. So, but I mean, if one day we have this web version, your solution is really interesting, I think, because it's like an appetizer but some, yeah. But in the same case, it's a challenge, but also interesting to try to find out how to present all this information in a appetizing way, or so the people can understand it and overview it. But that's the
Have you
question.
tested it on users yet?
We have tested on colleagues. So they are, you could say, at the Department of Swedish, so they are super users. But in the same way, you could say that there are not that many ordinary people buying the SO app either. So I mean, I think the app will cost about 49 Swedish crowns. It's about €5, and I think actually the users will be professionals, many of them. So in this case, they are not beginners. So that's. But of course we
I have to add that my oldest son is an app developer, so I of course used him as a test resource and got a lot of useful comments.
But I mean, in the development process, you should always, I mean, you develop an app and then you go to the users and you test it, of course, and then you get a lot of responses and interesting comments, and you go back and you make it better. In this case, it will be released, and we made it as good as possible, as we think. And then we have but we have to make user studies when it's released. I think it's very important. Coffee?
Okay,
Or?
thank you very much. And time for coffee.
Yeah,
Thanks.
That sounds great.